Hi everybody, Keith here. Gonna redo this video real quick. Having some sound issues, so I'm hoping this one will go through again. If not, I'll redo it again because it's important. We're gonna wait for people to get back on again. And hopefully we won't have any problems with the sound. We're going to redo this and go over this information one more time. Having sound issues. So we'll see if we get this done. Let me know if you can hear me. Hoping everybody's having a good day, living life, loving life. Everybody can hear me. Put up them likes if you can hear me, folks. So, okay, when it comes to these signatures, we've been doing it all wrong. And I'm going to start out by explaining a guy that most of us know fairly well in our lives. Very popular international musical vocalist. Prince. Prince. Remember Prince? He changed his name. And most people know that he changed his name to a symbol. And was known as the artist formerly known as Prince. And when he signed his documents, he used his symbol. Nobody can forge that. Period. So, and I'll let you know that symbol was copyrighted. So, when it comes to these signatures, we've been learning that we sign everything, and that's in cursive. It's a foreign language. It's not English. Okay? So let me start by telling you, when you sign things, you really shouldn't be using signatures by using cursive. You should be using an autograph with plain block English lettering. Yes, he did, Derek. He knew the truth. So, when it comes to these documents, I highly suggest you use an autograph, and we qualify that autograph. What is qualifying an autograph? Qualifying an autograph is a reservation of rights. So, a reservation of rights with prior intent technically should be done prior to the autograph or mark. You can use a mark. Back in the old days, they used a mark because a lot of people couldn't read or write English, but they could comprehend what was going on if it was spoken to them. And therefore, then once it was spoken to them, they could make their mark for agreement. Okay. So, when we qualify that autograph or mark, we do so by reserving our rights prior to. And what I want to clarify here is when we see that signature line, we don't qualify it by putting it above the signature line. We don't qualify it by putting it below the signature line. We qualify it by putting it on the signature line prior to the autograph. That shows your prior intent to the signature or autograph or mark. Now, along with that, I want people to understand that a reservation of rights can be said in many ways. And as long as it's there, it can be done. You can use UCC 1-308, which is the Uniform Commercial Code that tells you you have a right to reserve your rights, period, plain and simple. Then you can also say all rights reserved, none waived. All rights reserved without recourse. All rights retained. Anything that denotes that you are reserving your rights, that you know of your rights and that you stand by the responsibility to uphold them. So when we do that, in any form, VC, which is Latin, abbreviation of Latin for via coactus, which means under duress. You can use UTD, under threats and duress. UTDC, under threats, duress, and coercion. And so when we do this, and Derek Gonzalez makes a good point here, he uses a thumbprint, right thumbprint. And that should be attached to that autograph. I attach mine, and I only use my first name in block English. Capital K, lowercase e, lowercase I, lowercase t, lowercase h. And in actuality, the proper grammatical way to write it is not with a capital. It's a lowercase, period. So it would be lowercase K-E-I-T-H. And then I put a right thumbprint in red ink. Same with the name, done in red ink. And I place that right attached to the H. That's qualified signature or qualified autograph. Then on the back of your documents, you should be placing I use a 2-cent stamp. You can use any kind of stamp you want. It's got value. And you're the one that's putting the value on the document. Therefore, you're the one that's giving that document consideration. So you put a 1 or 2-cent stamp. Generally, like I said, I use a 2-cent stamp. And then you sign. You use that. You qualify it with your name again, and cancel that stamp by writing at an angle from the top left to the bottom right, 45-degree angle, your name. And then again, a red thumbprint attached to the stamp, not over the stamp, attached to the stamp on the left, or the right-hand side, just so it's touching the stamp. And what that does is it finalizes the document. Nobody else can do anything with that document. They cannot amend it. They cannot sign after it. They can't do anything. That also places it in the private realm. Understand that. So you qualify your signature on the signature line on the front of a document, and then you qualify it further by showing them that you know what you're doing by finalizing the document. Now, some people also put their postmaster seal, which would be the coat of arms and family crest above the stamp. That shows you are the postmaster, and it is your private jurisdiction. Period. Understand this stuff. And if you have any questions, I posted a post just a little bit ago, a couple days ago, about the UPU, Universal Postal Union. Go ahead and check that out. It's got some good examples from a guy named Marius from Romania. Knows what he's doing. And I'll be getting ready to do a video here in the next couple days on Tax Per Q. People that are doing this legitimately, sending their mail without any cost. So, read this stuff up. Yep, Derek Gonzalez. Let's talk about the color of ink. Let's talk about the color of ink, because Derek brings up another fine point. We have 5 different colors of ink we can use on these platforms, on these documents, instruments. We have black ink, which means the world of the dead. All of the rest of the colors that we're going to discuss are the world of the living. And first we're going to start, and this is the hierarchy: black, blue, red, purple, gold. Okay, so we started out with black. That's your dead world. Anything above that is your living. Your red is your living man. Okay, excuse me, blue. Blue first. Blue first is your contracts in life. Contract in life. Then you have your blue, or your red is living man. Then you have purple, which is royalty, living royalty. Then you have gold, which is king, queen, top royalty. And I like to use king servant or servant king, because I am truly a servant king of my Father in heaven, my Creator. So remember this stuff, folks. Retain it, educate yourselves, and then pass it on to your younger generations. The whole problem is that we've given up our responsibilities And in doing so, we started doing that by letting other people educate our children. The public education system is the biggest cog in the entire wheel of this fraud. Period. So, when we think about our education, remember, we're the ones that gave up that responsibility for convenience. And that convenience took away the responsibility of ourselves to be our own court. King's court. We gave up our responsibility to be our own postmaster. We gave up our responsibility to be our own banker. And that is the entirety of the fraud. 3 things. You are the court. You are the postmaster. You are the bank. Why are you letting somebody else do it for you? Exactly, Derek. It's a lack of knowledge. And when we forget that we're giving up those responsibilities for our own conveniences, then we are truly the detriment of our own next generations without realizing it. So wake up, people. Learn this stuff. Educate yourself so you know it, so you can use it wisely, and then pass it on. Yes, Hitler knew what he was doing when he won the minds of the youth. He had the children. He was the one that instigated the entire thing about physical education, because he was preparing the younger generations of his country for war when they were children. So anyway, understand this stuff, and remember, people, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you. God bless you. I love you. Have a great night.